Atletico. They just cannot beat Barca. Every time they do it, they're in a 7-game win streak right now, and they couldn't even beat Barcelona. It's not a known thing that Barca have been underperforming this season, such as not playing as the likes as they were last year. So you expect games like this where hopefully, where Atletico's finally getting back to the rhythm of things, they might help out their rival and beat Barcelona, but as happens almost every time for years. It's just how it is. But Barcelona, they looked there were scary moments for Barca into this match. Thiago Almada missed wide open chance. Some players didn't play in their best in this match for Atletico. Barcelona, Raphiana, you can obviously tell from his comeback, he's such a huge influence for Barcelona by the way how they're playing, and you need someone like that into the team. You can't always rely on Lamine. Yes, he's good, but he's 18. Using that logic, but such as you need an experienced player. Raphiana, you might not think of it. He's 28. He's been playing for a couple years now. You need that experience up in the top. Lewandowski's also experienced, yet he's old. And that missed penalty he had earlier definitely didn't help that case. But it's glad to have Pedri back. He did pick up an injury. Maybe it was too soon for Flick to start putting him back in the starting 11 after he was gone since El Classico. Just recently starting to come back since. And I think this backline is better. Barca has been lacking a defender since Inigo Martinez, and now Martin has been playing there since. Not since these last 2 games, last 2-3 games, and he honestly looks like a better solution than Araujo, who's been really inconsistent for a year or two now. It's great things it's good for Barca to know that this player is capable of filling in positions such, and then you look at Real Madrid, who are struggling pretty much everywhere in the field. But going to this match, Atletico scored pretty early. What minute? The 19th minute. That's one thing with Barcelona. They always concede first, and pretty early on. I'm going to compare it to Real Madrid most of the times. Real Madrid, you see them, and it might be 0-0 until the second half. I feel like nothing really goes on crazy for Madrid during the first 45. But for Barca, they always concede. Like even smaller teams. I forgot what they played the other day. Trying to think who it was, but they conceded in 1 minute in. Celta Vigo. I'm pretty sure Raul conceded first as well in these other matches. So one thing with Barcelona is, after these past couple weeks, is they concede pretty quick. Barcelona. So that's a major thing for them, conceding pretty early. But last season, when they would be 1-0 down, 2-0 down, I had that feeling similar to how like Real Madrid back in 2018, 2020, even 2022 is when they're losing. I still have that feeling that they're gonna come back. I don't have that feeling for Madrid anymore. But for Barca last season, that's what I would watch the game. They'll be 1-0, 2-0 down, like I said, and they'll just get a miracle comeback. They did it again. I thought they were gonna do it against Inter. They did it against Dortmund. They did it against many teams in La Liga. And sometimes this season, when Barca are down, unlike the Chelsea game, I knew Barca after they were even 1-0 down, I knew they were going to get the comeback. It's just certain matches I can tell, judging by the way how they're playing, that I know a comeback is bound to happen. And this game for me was pretty much that. Barcelona every time Atletico were attacking, Barcelona always kept it well. Sure, the defense wasn't perfect, especially against the Alex Benya goal, and he had another chance to score, but Joan Garcia was able to take it away from the box. I know Thiago Almada had a chance. I know I'm missing a few, but besides that, I think Barcelona was holding really well to an extent. I don't know. It's just I feel like Atletico weren't pushing as much as they should have been. I don't know if that's because maybe that's the way how they're playing, or the way Barcelona is. I don't know. I think Barcelona's midfield has been better. People are saying that De Jong might have been a problem. That I don't know. I think Eric Garcia is filling in really well in the defense and wherever he plays. He's just that like versatile player that you need into the team. He thinks really well there. And you look at this Atletico team; they brought in huge players. It sucks to see Johnny Cardoso, who is playing in the U.S. men's national team, being injured again. I know Tasman just got injured in Lyon, So it's not good to see American players, especially when the World Cup is so soon, getting injured. I think Vickers tore his ACL, or McKenzie. I think it was Vickers from Celtic. So you don't want to see these American players getting hurt. But Johnny Cardoso got subbed off pretty early. Koke replaced him there. Julian Alvarez was a ghost. Nico Gonzalez got subbed out. Giovanni Simeone, he comes and goes. I just feel like every time they go against Barca, Atletico just don't perform. You know, they can be in a 10 game, they can be in a 35 win streak, beat Madrid, and beat Barca, or not beat Barca. That's how it always works. So Raphiana, like I said, got that huge goal, great goal. Then he almost a great goal. He did get injured along the way. Is I guess the way he fell down, hurt his shoulder. And then the third goal. Who scored the third goal? I do not remember. Ferran Torres. Great play up by that youngster Fernandez. Dro Fernandez. He got the ball, passed it to I think it was Balde, and then straight for Ferran Torres, just getting subbed on towards what the 60th minute. But Torres is a come and go player. He has 10 goals in this season so far, which is great. But then in big matches, does he perform? I don't know. I think he's just a really good player to bring in. Sometimes even start. Last season he was very strong. So he would even start ahead of Lewandowski towards the mid half to the end of the season. And then sometimes you see it here, and then some matches, even like the Chelsea match, where you just miss an open goal like that. It depends on, I guess, what team. And Barca are 100% more comfortable going against, the Spanish teams instead. Substitutions. I don't know. Griezmann, the big 25 for me is kind of crazy. You have someone like Raspadori, who's really a quick winger. He was in Napoli last season. Not sure why he didn't bring him in. Yeah. Besides that, I think you should have brought in Raspadori. I think you could, use Barca's highline as an advantage, which has been the problem for a while now, and maybe see if there's a way to. I mean, they did it once this game, and they could have done it a few times. So let's go, but that wasn't the case. I stated before that this end of November to all of December is gonna be a tough month for Barca. They got Chelsea 3-0, sucks, but they got back to back 3-1 wins against La Liga teams. The next game's against Betis, they are a strong team. They're really good players in the team, fighting for Champions League qualification. And then you have Frankfurt, Osasuna, Villarreal, Espanyol, Bilbao, and Sociedad. The main two, I guess, top games, the most important or the most difficult is pretty much out of their way, but you can't, not say that any of these teams are capable of beating Barcelona right now, because they are. Betis looks strong. Frankfurt are iffy in the Champions League, lost 5-1 to Atletico and Liverpool. Bundesliga, they're alright. Nothing, they lost many players along the seasons. Osasuna were a strong underrated team. Villarreal, they have they just sold Yermi Pino and Alex Bonilla, so it's tough for them, but they're still to a point where they have the players, and they're literally in the title race contender fight battle. So there's that. Espanyol, you can never count out these strong Spanish teams, and then Bilbao, they're gonna run it back after beating them. What was it? Yeah, 4-0. So Barca's last 3 La Liga games: 4-0, 3-1, 3-1. Look strong. Like I said, just inconsistent for Barca. You can, I guess you want to say, their top matches that they've been losing. But when you look at Madrid, can't really complain about how they're performing. That's pretty much it. Barca with this is top of the Liga, even if Madrid wins. Madrid have been they drew 3 games in a row. Shameful. You can't be. I don't know. You were what, 5 points ahead, and then you're out here just drawing games against mid-table teams because you don't know what you're doing. But this isn't about Madrid. Huge Barca. Next game is Betis. Madrid play tomorrow against Bilbao. Nothing's gonna change with the front two. Atletico, all depending if Betis, I guess they have a game in hand because they're only at 14, and their next game is Barca next week. So hey, top 5 is pretty far from 4, but Villarreal with a win against Sociedad, close game, pushing them closer to the top three. So it's gonna be huge, exciting title fight for here in La Liga.